Enough people on our planet have developed an awareness of what's true about spirit and about ETs that we've literally shifted timelines. 30 years ago, if someone had said, are we heading on that timeline where there's going to be horrible, massive disasters like the flood in the Bible and things like that, I would have been like, I don't know. But I started looking at timelines probably around 2012. And I just see that there's been enough people that have enough awareness that we have literally shifted the timeline that our planet was on. And even though to some people it looks like hell is breaking loose on the planet, and yeah, we're still going to have natural disasters, but we're not going to have epic global scope of natural disasters. We're not on that timeline anymore. We're on a little bit nicer, a little bit smoother timeline
Yeah,
where we're not just going to turn into a ball of fire and explode.
I agree. We jumped from the doom and gloom timeline to the
Yeah,
all
yeah.
is well. Let's make this party happen.
Yeah, it's still going to be challenging, but it's not going to be horrific. I think that enough people on the planet have shifted into some kind of an awareness that it's creating more space for the ETs to start coming individually to different people. When a person sends out a hello to the universe or to the skies and is like, hey, some ETs, I like to say Christ conscious ETs come visit me, as opposed to, hey, any ETs, because some of them are not
Anybody.
nice. You know, yeah, I always tell people that, no, don't go out there and say, hey, come visit me. No,
Yeah,
be
reach
very
for the higher vibe.
Christ conscious or love conscious,
Yeah,
visit me. I think that enough people have been making that connection on their own, and the ETs have been responding that they're changing the vibration on the planet so that we're moving globally in that direction.
absolutely. I'm so glad. Yeah, I think on the surface, it might still look like, because of what's currently still happening in terms of wars and just a lot of political conflict still. But when you tune into just the actual vibration of humanity as a collective, and not only where people are at, but where they're looking at and consciously creating and wanting to go, there's less of that doom and gloom, even though the fear programming has been out there for so many years. I think a lot less people are really believing that, and a lot more people are creating from that more positive knowingness of what can be, that is in more alignment with global cooperation and sharing and caring for one another. Stop fighting.
Yeah,
The overall message, just like, hey, how about we take care of each other instead of fighting against each other all the time.
there's a lot of growth that humanity still needs to go through. However, and I keep going back to the internet, there's so much information. There's so many ways for people to connect. Like you were just talking about having a relationship with the ETs or
Yeah.
having relationships with each other. 50 years ago, 60 years ago, it was very uncommon to have access to any other TV stations other than the ones like here in the United States. Now you go on the internet and you can communicate with someone on the other side of the planet. You don't even need to know each other's languages because now you have all these great little apps you can put on your phone. Oh, how are you today? When it comes back in 15 different languages. It's amazing. The advent of the internet has just opened up so much more space for communication for everyone on the planet to communicate and everyone on the planet to see what is going on in other countries,
Right.
and not just what the established media wants us to see going on in other countries. All of these UFO sightings, there was that huge drone sighting situation that happened in New Jersey in December that
Right.
everyone was talking about. It was all over the media. They're making it seem like, oh, this is the first time that so many people have seen UFOs in the sky all at once.
Yeah. We're just
Yeah,
finally.
you go online, you look at all these other countries, especially in Mexico. Mexico has had some amazing footage of literally like platoons or armadas of UFOs all in groups flying
Yeah.
across the sky. I started seeing those kinds of videos like 10 years ago. So all of that has already been going on the planet, but depending on which news outlet you listen to or you watch, They don't show you that. The ETs are visiting. They're all over Mexico. They're all over different parts of South America. They're
Yeah.
everywhere, but our news outlets weren't showing that. So if you dig a little on the internet, then you'll see that they're there.
Yeah. For folks that are still in a place of, oh, I need the official word on this, right? Do you think that the disclosure movement has come far enough that maybe we're going to see some disclosure in terms of hearing this from any kind of authority figure that would really affect more of the mass population's acceptance of it? Or do you think that that's not even necessary because most people are like, I don't need an official word on this anymore? Hmm.
I wish that so many people could have their own permission to look at this or to believe what they want to believe as opposed to believe what they're seeing on TV. I think there's going to be government disclosure or at least more of it. I do believe that it's going to be coming out more and more over the next 3 to 4 years. Now, I also believe that a lot of people still need the government to show them the way or to give them the information. So do I think there's going to be some more disclosure coming through the government? Absolutely, I do. It's going to start happening. It already is kind of happening. The Freedom of Information Act, there's one author who's gotten like 60,000 pages of information through the Freedom of Information Act, all about the government cover-ups of the UFOs crash retrieval, of the ET bodies crash retrieval. There's lots of whistleblowers who are wanting to come forward. Some of them have already come forward, but they get annihilated by the public relations or other agencies that want to discredit them because other people don't want the information coming out. So
A little bit of an information war.
yeah.
There's kind of a battle between the disclosure movement, like we want humanity to know this, and then just the old control forces of this information would free people up a little bit too much. It does seem that astrologically speaking and evolutionarily speaking, we're in for some big changes this year. So I wonder if this is the year for greater disclosure about not only just ETs, the role that they're playing with humanity, and then the history. I'm very interested in the history. I guess I'm very interested for humanity to not only recognize that we're one human family, right? But this is why we're one human family. Look at how we got here. You know, there's some very interesting stories about how we got here. What do you see when you look at the history of ET involvement in just the starting of the human race? Should we go back to the beginning?
Yeah, we are the product of multiple ET races that came to this planet, and they don't call this planet Earth. Okay, we call it Earth. They don't call it Earth. They have
they have different names.
The one name I know is Terra, Terra. I've heard a lot of them refer to our planet as Terra. We're saying Earth, and they're like, well, we call your planet Terra.
Yeah.
We're the biological entities that were created through combining genetics, Earthling genetics with ET genetics. And we're talking multiple different civilizations that came to our planet at least 500,000 to 1 million years ago. And they started changing our DNA. And some of them did it because they just wanted like a bunch of workers. They needed someone to mine the planet or to do the labor. So they genetically enhanced the existing human at that time so that they would have a little more intelligence and be able to do more tasks. That was part of it.
Selfish reasons.
Yeah, no, seriously.